wounds, and given the state of your being or unbeing, I'm going to have to do quite a bit of work on you. I'm trying to get some of these loose threads in order. Oh, are you awake? Don't struggle too much. It's not going to help you. It took some time to track down where you've been jaunting around. Of course, I'm not like that quack Frankenstein. I don't know what he was thinking, letting you loose out in the world. Afraid of his own creation. What a joke. But I can't have you wandering around, murdering people the way that you have been. Oh, did you think that no one would know? Please, quite a few of Frankenstein's peers, including me, have been keeping an eye on his isolation. And of course, once a string of murders started going around and connected to him, it wasn't hard to figure out exactly what was happening. At least, not for me. Yes, I'm pulling on skin. That's kind of unavoidable, given you're only held together with these stitches and those bolts. Amateur work, really. No, I will not be letting you up. I don't know what he was thinking, trying to create the perfect specimen. All he did was make something barely human. Of course, now that you're alive, we can't just have you wandering about in this state. Now let me see. I don't think there's anything I can do about those threads for now, so I think I'll have to cut some of it away. Personally, they don't really affect me. What was that? Oh, you want to go after Frank? I am well aware about the vendetta you have against your creator, if you'd like to call him that. Yes, I doubt you committed all those murders just for fun, right? Right. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to fix you. Yeah, hopefully get rid of that vindictive streak you got going on. I'm gonna have to try to mess around a little bit in your brain and see what I can fix. Frankenstein might not have been able to do so, but I'm not afraid of trying. Now your stitching is, like I said, quite a mess, so I'm going to have to go back and trim a little bit more later. But for now, I want to take stock of these wounds that you have. You don't seem to be able to heal the way that people are able to heal, but then again, you're not exactly human, now are you? So first, I'll look at those wounds, disinfect and wipe them down. Let's see. You've gotten yourself into quite a lot of trouble given the state of you. Like I said, no matter. You're going to heal up just fine. I intend to keep you here until you've fully healed. So let me just spray you down. Alright, now that that's been applied, I'll rub some of it in. Of course, given the pressure on your wounds, you will feel a little bit of pain. But given the amount of pain you've been causing other people, you can just assume that this is part of your karmic retribution, in a sense. Seems to be fine. Let me dry off the rest. Just dry the rest off with this towel. Now that that's taken care of and your wounds have been disinfected, and I'll go back and trim those threads, those loose threads that I mentioned earlier that I didn't manage to get before. I didn't want to affect your inflamed areas of skin and threading too much until at the very least I knew that you were disinfected. So let me Frankenstein really did not do much to impress me. If you weren't wandering around alive, I wouldn't have even bothered checking into his lab and seeing what I saw. I was wondering what was going on with all of those grave robbing sites and everybody talking about missing limbs. I never knew that it would all end up back to Frankenstein and his weird obsession with life and death. Of course, I wonder if a lot of the issues you have aren't caused by using less than model materials to create you. But this is all just a simple theory until I can try to put it hurt yourself. Well, I won't do anything to the bolts. I assume that's where you use those as his sights for electricity. But the screws, on the other hand, seem to be very inflamed, so I'll just remove those. You have stitching around your neck too, so I'm sure they weren't used for structural use, like your bones holding you up and everything. So I'll just be removing those for you. I'll loosen all of them and then I'll remove them. As I thought, you are a little inflamed in those areas. I imagine Frankenstein meant to remove those from you after you were completely healed, but afraid of his own creation. And after you start going on that little rampage of yours, he just never had a chance to remove them for you. And of course, how would you know to remove them yourself? So now that we have those removed, I can take a look at those bolts you have on your neck. I imagine you don't want to share with me why you happen to have those. No matter, I've already figured it out. When he left his lab, he left quite a bit of research behind, whether out of fear of you or out of what he'd done playing God, as one might say. It doesn't really matter to me. I went in and collected what I needed and left behind what I didn't. I doubt anybody else would manage to find his little lab that he had hidden away, but even if they did, I've already cleared it out. Now, he used electricity to bring you to life. So, I'll be messing a bit with those bolts of yours. And of course, observing how you react when I apply a little bit of electricity to you. Oh, will it hurt? Well, I'm not too sure. After all, you're the only one of your kind, isn't that right? It's part of the reason why you've been going out and trying to ruin his life, right? You felt abandoned, left behind. electricity, your body seems to react by entering a sort of fight or flight response. I see adrenaline spiking, and yes, your body seems to involuntarily start to shudder and react. Alright, well, I think that's enough with that. I don't want to negatively impact you, and I'd like to be at least a little careful with you. After all, I intend to run many more tests on you. So let me put this away. Oh, are you relieved? Yes, given your brain activity and your bodily responses, I imagine that wasn't quite pleasant for you. Then again, putting people through the stages of grief and mourning the lives that you have taken wasn't too pleasant for them either, now was it? I find that I have to convince myself to be more patient with you, at least more than I'd like to be, given your more malicious nature. But then, how are you to know any better? Frankenstein did you quite the disservice, abandoning you the way that he did. But anyway, we're almost done, don't worry. Let me see what I'd like to apply. You seem to be having trouble breathing. You seem to be having trouble breathing in your airways, so just stay still. And all you have to do is breathe this in. Alright? Alright. So, 3, 2, 1. Very good. Now the other side. 3, 2, 1. Okay, we'll do this one more time. 3, 2, 1. Alright. 3, 2, 1. Well, aren't you a quick study? Now that will hopefully clear up your airways. Make it easier for you to breathe. I will have to do more extensive study on what could be affecting you so. But for now, that will suffice. Now, I wanted to check on your eyesight as well. After all, you're awake, so now would be the best time to do it. So let me just get that little light. Alright. And will you describe what you're seeing as I do this? Very good, very good. You're doing very, very well. I was afraid that your eyes would have to be replaced given the quality of materials that Frankenstein used on you, but everything seems to be in working order. Alright, very good, very good. Now let me get those clips I wanted to attach to you. Okay, alright, I have some clips I'd like to attach to you. I'll put one on each of your bolts and one on each of your wrists. I'm sure you didn't notice, but running around your wrist underneath your skin seems to be quite a bit of metal wiring. Now, I'm not quite sure exactly what he was going for, but the next time I choose much, actually, just for peace of mind. On your neck. Okay, and on your wrists. Alright, perfect. Now next time I have you hooked up to see how electricity affects you, those will act as nodes for me. So, I do believe that that's everything I wanted to do with you today. I think I'll spray you one more time, just to ensure that no infection occurs. After all, given the fact that you're not human, I'm not entirely positive that you would be able to survive a deadly infection, and I'd hate to lose you so soon before I get the answers that I want. So I'll spray you one more time. Alright, that should be enough. I'll rub that in to ensure it's absorbed, and then we'll be finished today. Oh, of course I intend to keep you locked up. Like I said, you can't be trusted. You've taken lives. You seem to have quite the stalker streak with the way you've been trying to track down Frankenstein. And like I said, you have no human morality to be found. So you'll continue to be contained here, at least until you learn better, or until I'm tired of you. Okay? Alright. Now, I'll just rub that in for you. Oh, are you falling asleep? Good. As soon as you wake up, you'll probably wake up with me doing another test on you, but for now you should get your rest. Alright guys, that's it